Hello, this is Miho from Canada. How are you guys doing? I hope everything is going well for you guys. So today I'm gonna talk about be yourself, be authentic, be who you are, or live who you are. And this is really vague and wide topic, but it's so important to be in that state of who you really are, because a lot of people don't even know who they are, because I was there, because they were brought up in a way that this is the way to live, this is the person you need to follow, this is the the schedule you need to follow, this is the way you answer the questions, or it's just there's just so many ways that being told that what to do, or what you should be thinking, or what you shouldn't be doing, mustn't do. And there's just so many factors while you're growing up that you start to believe that's so true. And sometimes you have some certain experiences where people give you a really bad taste to it, so you reject that experience and you remember that bad feelings from that experience, and you don't like it, so you put it away. And those will develop over the years, almost like growing over the years, and it will just pop up from time to time when you encounter something similar to that experience. So you have certain blocks for things, like for the money, for the relationship, for the job, or for the security, insecurity, in all those areas that you have beliefs that being fed over the years. So it's not really your fault. It's more of all the information that's being fed by the adults around you, or the societies, or friends, peers, schools, pretty much anywhere. And you start to make this belief inside of you. So that's why when you want to do something and you fail, or it didn't work well for you, and you feel really down, which is natural, and you start to compare yourself to the others who's doing much better than you, and you feel even worse. I've been there many times. But when you compare yourself to the others, it's easy to do it that way, but you're not comparing a real thing. What I mean is, like, you cannot really compare yourself to the others, because others had a different lifestyle, different background, different family situations, different beliefs, so that you cannot really compare yourself to the others, because they have total different values about something. They might be good at one thing that you feel really not good at, but they might not be good at the field that you're so good at. So you just don't know. And be yourself is something that make you feel so good about yourself, and you really feel in alignment with yourself, so your mind gets clear and your emotion gets stabilized, so that you'll be able to see more the possibilities and the potentials of yourself. When you're really agitated, anxiety and worrisome, that state, and you tend to worry more because you're worrying constantly. But ahead of the worry, it's not going to be a good thing. It's going to be more worries. So instead of focusing on that, like not good feelings, you focus yourself on the good feelings that gives you. And when you make that shift, it's very uncomfortable, but it will do really good for you. For instance, that okay, so you're the smoker, and one day you kind of decided, okay, I'm gonna quit, and you start, doing whatever the methods that you chose to do. But when you make that shift, it's really tough. There's a point where you really have to break that old habits which you've been practiced for many, many years, maybe the whole life. It doesn't have to be, the smoking. It could be anything, eating habits or anything. And then when you come to that really tough point, you need to have this. Otherwise, you go right back to where you are because it's so comfortable, even though you think it's not healthy to stay that way. But to break that point is much harder. So you go back and just be comfortable. So in order to push that discomfort, you need to have the clear reason why you want to do this. It could be that close friends of yours had health issue because they didn't take care of the health, or something hit you, and all of a sudden you feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I like to change my habit. I like to be healthier. I like to feel much better, clear head, and feel better and fit better. So we'll do it. I will do it to get to that point. Like you set your goal, and it could be changing every time when you progress, but you kind of know which area you want to target. And then you will really go through that discomfort. And it's not going to be like forever, so that it's a limited time, so you really transform yourself from one side to the other. And once you get to here, you practice so many times in this time frame, so it becomes your norm, and you feel so comfortable with that state, so you will stay there. The same for the mind too. When you're so used to thinking negative thoughts and always depressed, or self-esteem and confidence are very low, I don't have any worth, that sort of things. And then when you make that shift to become really comfortable with yourself, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, this place is so good and so comfortable, you don't want to go back to where you were. So you really need to decide, like, okay, when you do this, you need to be ready. You cannot go back to be really negative thoughts or negative conditions anymore. So you really want to make the shift before you do it, because you really feel that way. And then when you pass that stage and you become really comfortable with yourself, you think to yourself, like, why was I worrying about such a thing, or why I was there, and that's experience itself is very important, because now you have the light and dark, plus and minus, so that you have something in balance, something to compare, what's good and bad. But you've already experienced that one side so many years, so it's really time for you to shift to the better, brighter, much nicer and lighter place where you feel so comfortable with yourself. And when you are living somebody's life, or how do I say, when you're living not you because you're afraid to do what you really wanted to do, or you resist, or you just don't have the guts to do it, you're getting far from who you really are. So you could stay in a state for a certain amount of years or decades, maybe, like I was. But it becomes your breaking point where it's not you. Like you have something inside of you, burning desire to be who you really are. And then you've been ignoring that feeling for years, because when you do follow that feeling, it's always somebody else said something, and somebody really criticized you or judged you and made you feel really bad. So you felt like, oh, okay, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So you become really quiet, or put the shells around you to protect you, which is a natural thing that human beings do because we don't want to get hurt anymore unnecessarily. So you put the shield, in order not to get hurt, but you can live like that for so many years or decades, and then it becomes your breaking point that you feel so frustrated with yourself because it's not who you really are. It's not what you really wanted to do. So in order to break free from that, you really need to talk to yourself and heal from inside. There are many ways of doing it, but really focusing on how you really feel. It doesn't matter what the others saying. It's just ignore like BGM, background music, and just talk to yourself. No matter what other people say, criticize, or judge, it's your soul, it's your life, it's your time to live who you really are, discover what potential you have. And when you become to that state, you get such a clear head, and your emotion gets stabilized, even though you get ups and downs, because we now have a blended sort of situation where some people get really upset and uptight. It gives off that feelings, and you receive that, and you get those ups and downs. So you need to really bring yourself down to the calm, peaceful, harmonized place. I do that all the time. You just put your mind together, kind of center yourself, and I do a lot of the times. Morning, or when you go to the washroom, or the nighttime during the day. It's just when you focus on something, you just let myself be. That's all I really do. And when you keep focusing on that, you really center yourself, and you feel really good about yourself. So what others are saying really doesn't really bother you anymore. You get to that point too. So be who you are and live authentic, meaning that be really natural to who you really are. And when you're that state, you're so light and you're so clear. And I have still a lot of blocks though. I'm not totally, clear, but it's much, much better. And you can explore who you really are and the potentials that you have, or everyone has those potential. And then you really find the light inside of you, and you start to radiate. And that really helps people around you. So first, it's internal. You need to look after yourself, take care of yourself, mind and body. And you really pay attention what you say, and overall you feel so good to be yourself together. And then you will explore, and you will grow, and you improve, and you discover new things about yourself. So that's the place where you feel really good about yourself, not being bothered by what other people are saying, or like one opinion. Sure, you can listen to it, but you're not really affected so much about it, and you have less time to worry, less time to be anxious. It's a really good place to be. So when everyone feel that spot, the world will be so peaceful. Because people who have a lot of anxieties and anger or the frustration, they cause a lot of troubles because they're not fulfilled. They get so frustrated. They're craving for the attention and love that they don't have, and then showing it in a very twisted way or very attacking way, to get to hurt people way. Or so it's important that you have a really good, steady, peaceful, harmonized mindset. Okay, so have a great day and see you soon.